Welcome. Welcome back to this channel. This is Unfiltered Forex with me, Clement. And in this video, it's a continuation of the last one, and I'll be showing you how to actually now start making your Power BI dashboard to visualize your performance, or rather just making the report itself. So from where we left off in the previous video, this is the duplicate of the first page. And the reason why you duplicate this is to import the page settings as they are. If you create a new page, it's not going to start with the same page settings as the other ones you see. So just delete this one. Right, new page. So this duplicate now, this is where we're going to start by adding the background, right? I understand you may have a logo or an image that you'd want it to be the background of your reports, right? Now for this one, it's preferred that you select something simplistic or minimalistic to make your dashboard look neat, not ugly. This is where now companies put their company logos and or rather the company color theme. Yeah, so let's do that. Go to page, format your report page, then canvas background, right? Now this is where you can select an image you want. Just go to, for you just go to the directory of an image you want. Yeah, this is my desktop, and yeah, let me see an image that I want. Okay, I want this one. But no, wait, I think there's a better one somewhere around here. Let me see if I can find it. Christmas. Yeah, this one has the name Christmas. Add. Then once you've added it, you probably not going to see anything. The problem is the transparency. You can see transparency is 100%, meaning it's clear 100%. So reduce this. Yeah, you can see now the image is starting to be visible. Okay, to remove these ugly whatever's writings here, just add something small. Yeah, you can see now it's gone. So now let's go back to formatting the page. Transparency, you can either set this 0%, meaning it's completely opaque. And then now you can see the background here. Instead of over stretching this image to fit um the whole page, you can just change the background color to match the background color of this image. The black, now you can see it's looking like one big image. So yeah, again, this logo here is not supposed to, is not the focus of the image. So you can reduce the transparency, or rather increase the transparency a bit, so that now when you start overlaying your visuals, it doesn't look too pronounced, right? Okay, so that part is done. You can change it to fit whatever standard you want it to be. So now you can start by adding your name, the name of your system, yeah, the name of your trading system, or the results you're trying to visualize, right? Like you can see with my previous reports, this was 2024 half year performance. This was from January to June. And you can see my system is called Tiffany, and this was the half year 2024 performance. Then again, this was 2023. I called it recap 2023, right? So this time, let me see what I'll do. Okay, so first, if you want to add the text box, it's up here. You can see home text box. Yeah, there it is. And then just, okay, the font size here is quite small, so you need to increase this around 44, 50, and then let's write. Once that is done, you can see the text box here has a white background, which is not supposed to be like that given the color scheme we're using. So, and then the text here. So first what you're going to do is change the text color, right? Change this to white, like the contrast from your actual background, the one you want to use. So font color changes to white. And then now the text box itself, you're going to go on this right side, effects, color background. You don't need to change the color, just increase the transparency to 100%. Yeah, and you can see. And then you can put this in bold if you wanted to. Yeah. Then now you can even change the font to be whichever one you want. I recommend you just use something simple to make it look neat and professional, not something not something ugly, right? So now, this text box, now you can put it wherever you want, right? You can put it at the center or the right side, but I prefer to have it there on the left side. And then now you can start with your visual. You can delete this. Now you can start with your visuals. Okay. So what's the first thing you do about this one? Okay, the first thing I usually do is you start by picking the what do you call it? Theme for your visuals. Like you can see on this 2023 report, the first thing was making these shapes. You can see the shape, these rectangles, and picking the right color scheme for them. You can even see my half year performance. These rectangles, right? Those are the ones usually start with. So if you want to make something like this, you can see how glossy it looks, and it's kind of translucent, and it has that shade of green that makes it look kind of nice. So if you want to make something like that from here, that's where now you start. That's where now you start. Insert, go top, insert, and then select shape. Now select either a rectangle or a rounded rectangle. Yeah. Now I've chosen rounded rectangle. This is the first thing you'll see when you click that, right? As you can see, it's not looking good. You can't use it like this. So what do you start by doing? Go on the right side here, shape. This is where now you change the degree, or rather how rounded the corners are. So I like to reduce this under 10%. Sometimes 5 is usually good, between 5 and 6, or even under 3 sometimes. Click, yeah, you can see it has some very rounded corners that look quite nice. So yeah, they're not too pointy and they're not too rounded. And then again, once that part is done, now you can switch over to fill color. You can choose the color you want. Let me choose something greenish. Yeah, because you can see it's marrying with the color background. You can see the image itself here. There is red and green, and there's some white. Even this text is white. So let's either choose red or green. I think I'll choose green with this one. Keep in mind there are very many colors, like green colors, that, like, let's go here, more colors. You can see there are so many color combinations here, and you kind of just need to be careful with this one, right? Even before I move on, there's a color chart you can download for these codes, right? The hex. So you can just do a simple Google search and find them. Let's try that. Once you're here on Google, just type color hex code. Then there's a chart here. This chart can help you. Let me see. Yeah, this is the image, and you can see it's hexadecimal color codes. So this is the one that's going to help you pick the color you actually want to use for your visual. So for this one, you can download this image or just view it from the website as it is. For this one, I think I'm going to use. Now this is where it becomes confusing for me because I really don't know how to choose colors. So anyway, dark green, forest green, lime. I think I'll use one of these kind of greens. Yeah, this one, 7FFF00. So go back to your visual. Then this is where you're going to type the code 7FFF00. It's not too beautiful, but anyway, let's just use that one. You can change the transparency. think I'll leave it at that. And then there's the border. Now the border color, of course, it has to be the same with the color you've just chosen. Luckily, it's going to be here. You can see recent colors. So, and then the border width. This is the border. You can see there's a slim line running across the visual. So yeah, the border, you can set it how thick you want it to be. Set it to 5 pixels. You can see the border is thick. And now reduce that. You can see it gets smaller. So 1% is 1 pixel is good enough because you don't want the border too pronounced, right? So now this is what we have. Moving on, once that part is done, you're going to go to the general now. This part is where you're going to set there. Now, how you want the shape to actually look like. So you're going to go to effects, color background off. If that's off, visual border off, and then shadow. This is when I will set it to on, and then color of the shadow, you set it to the same as the color of the background color. And then the position, now this is where you set it to custom. Set the position to custom. And then now this is where you start adjusting how you want the visual to or the shadow to look like. And then the position, set it inside. Inside is good. So even before we move on further, is something I have to fix about this shape, which is you just go to your shape, style, and then the transparency, you need to increase the transparency to around 80, 90%. Yeah, 85 is good. Now you can see the shadow is starting to become visible, and that shadow is actually what we want to see, right? So let's keep it at 90, then go back here. Shadow. Now you're setting the settings for the shadow. The size, you can start increasing the size. See if the shadow is getting to the size you want it to be. You can see now it's becoming bigger and bigger. And then yeah, now it's a really big shadow, right? So you're gonna start reducing that, and then around 70 should be okay because because of the kind of end result I want to achieve. And then the blur. Now you can start increasing this one. You can see it's becoming more and more blurry. Let's increase a bit, and then the angle. Now this is what's going to change the position, or rather, which side is the shadow leaning more towards. Right. So you can leave this at around 90 if you want it to be facing completely down or to one side more than another, right? And then the distance. Now the distance is the distance from the center. If how offset you want it to be, you can see it's moving more to the bottom, right? So if we increase the distance, it's going to make this visual look like it's fading from the color is fading from the top to the bottom, meaning the color is more concentrated at the top and fading as you go to the bottom, right? And then there's the transparency, of course. You can either increase that or reduce it, but if you increase it, you can see how it's starting to look. Yeah, and you can play around with these settings to achieve the kind of visual you want. So you can see now I'm reducing the size to make it more and more vague, not very distinct. And then, yeah, once you've done that, that should be it. Let's click. Now you can see the visual. So now you can see the border is kind of too pronounced. If you want to change that, just go back to here, style, and then the border. Now you can increase the transparency of the border, and now you can see it's a lot less distinct than how it was before. Let's decrease that, or rather increase the transparency a bit more, and yeah, 50%. Yeah, it's now that's looking like something presentable, I think. Yeah. Now, once you have your first one, I'm assuming you've chosen your preferred, what do you call it? Your preferred colors, and it's not too ugly. So now you can click that, hit Ctrl C, copy this visual, and then paste it. Right. So now you have two of them. You can see why it's important you spend a good amount of time fixing the first one, because that's the one that you're going to duplicate it to fit to for all the others. Right. So this one, and then you can change the shape however you want it. Right. Now, what I like to do first is to, on my dashboard, I like it showing some key metrics on top here, like what is the total number of trades I took in that trading period, or what's the total number of losses or wins, the win ratio I had. So I think I'm going to start with that even before we get to these other ones. So for that one, hmm, this shape is looking too rigid. Right, it's better. So for that one, now what you're going to do is to now start adding your first visuals, right? The first one, the first visual I like to add of this part is usually cards. On this part, you're not going to add any charts, it's just cards. And cards are like I'm saying, it's just a card that's showing a specific number you wanted to show. Select a card there and you can see it. So now what do we want this card to show? So there's a field section here, and they want it to show counts of outcomes. No, you want it to count. So click this drop down icon here and then select count. Right, count of outcomes 193. And then if you want to change um this label here, you can just double click on that name and then change it to whatever you want. This one, it's trade count. Trade count, hit enter. You can see it's now showing the trade count. And then now if you want to make this visual smaller, and if you want to add it here, you can see it's having a white background. So what do? You first go to this format your visual, and then you go to general, right? But even before there's the color value and the category label. These two here, 193 and trade count. So the color value, change the color to white, right? And then set it bold, and then category label, also change this color to white. And then don't set that to bold, and then go to general and then effects. Now the background, you can see the background is white, just set the transparency to 100. Yeah, and you can see trade count 193. And then from here you can position that at the center of this visual, right, or this shape. Then move it center. You want it at the center like that, and then I'll show you why I want it there, because there are more metrics are going to add at this on the sides here, right? So that's the trade count. Let's put it at the edge here, right? And then the wins and the losses, and then the win ratio, right? So the wins, it's easy. You can just add the same card, like literally. So you can duplicate this CTRL-C and then CTRL-V. You can duplicate the same card, right? So once you've copied that, you just you're supposed now, if you wanted to show wins only, you go here to filters, and then if you want to add a filter, you just drag this outcome column here, and then you filter that by wins. Select wins. Now it's only showing the wins. You see wins 38, losses 131, and then break even 24. So now now that it's showing wins, you can change the name here to show wins. Hit enter, right? So now it's showing wins. And then because it wins, you may decide to have it a different color from the from the from the one you're using here. So you set the color to green. Go here to format your visual, call out value, and then change the color to green. Yeah, if this green is too bright, you can use a different kind of green you want here. That's better, I think. And then because of what I'm going to do next, or rather, even now that you can see it's green, automatically you're going to interpret that as the number of wins. So the category label, turn it off, right? And then let's put that above here so that we can have the number of losses at the bottom here. So what am I going to do? This 38, going to copy it, then paste it. Right. So now we have to, and then you can set it directly below the other one, and then you go here and change the what the filtering. Now, if you want to show losses, going to show losses only. Right. You only tick the box that's showing losses one that you want. All right. Now, once that is done, you change the color of the callout value. Set it to red. If it's looking too dark or rather too pronounced, you can play a bit with the colors and see the one you want. Okay, let's go with that one. So now you can see it's trade count for 93 with 38 wins and 131 losses, right? So if you don't like how this is showing itself, you can play around with the visuals a bit. Let's select this one, for example. Yeah, and set that there, and then now you have this and this one. It's the same size. Yeah, it's the same size. You can see the dotted line. Then I want to make this a bit smaller. Yeah, I think I want to make this a bit smaller so that it can appear like it's directly relating to this one. So what I'm going to do is extend this a bit to that. Then this one, extend it also to that, push it a bit more to the closer to the trade count number. If it's getting smaller, of course, now this is where you reduce the size of the color value. It's now 32. Also, this one, reduce it. So now that's how they're looking. Right. So this is where we are. Now you can see the space between these two visuals is kind of too big, so you need to push them up a bit, right? Push that one there, then this one, push it down a bit. Yeah, that should be good enough. All right, this one now. We have to push it down a bit. That's okay. Yeah, if you think it's too cramped, right? Then just put it down a bit. Then the others put it up like that. Right. I think now I think I'll leave it like that. Right. If you want, you can have it like how I did it in the previous visual. See, I can see it was trade count and then they were separated like this 2271, right? So back to here, you can see what we have now. I don't like this. It's looking ugly. I think I'll change it later. But because this video is for educational purposes, I'll probably change this later. You can just leave it like that and go to a more important visual. The other one, of course, is the win rate. You want the win rate displayed here at the top. So how do you calculate that? It's simple. You create a measure. This is where now you start creating measures. All right, go to home and then create new measure. Now this new measure is you're going to write a DAX code here that's supposed to do the math to find out the win rate, right? So because I've done this a few times before, I think I'll just go to a previous visual I had and then import that measure here. Let me find it. Yeah, this is 2024 half year performance. The measure is supposed to be here. Just click the win rate and you'll see the measure. Yeah, this is the one. Copy this syntax and then paste it. Yeah. Now you have to change the name of your tables here. So you can just delete this whole thing, this whole part, and then 2024 performance outcome, right? And then this again, you can cancel everything here and then select your column in 24 performance outcome. You're comparing. That syntax doesn't seem correct. All right, it's not correct. You're comparing this, the total number of outcomes versus the total number of wins, right? So if you want to add the total number of wins, this is what you do. You just adjust the DAX code here, just right, calculate brackets counter. So now put a comma and again select the outcome column, and then at the end here put an equal sign and then the W. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's going to work. So now what this is going to do is to compare the wins versus the total number of outcomes. Let's try and see. Just hit enter. Right, once you hit enter, you won't see any change of the visual, but you will see a new measure here. This calculator icon, that's showing you that that one is a measure. So don't worry if it's under the wrong directory. Measures, how measures work is the syntax is what is working, not the directory here. Doesn't matter. So now you're going to add a card, right? You can add a card and then drag the measure onto the fields, right? So you're going to show you 0.20. Right, if you want, this is your win. Now if you want this number to show up as a percentage, you're going to click this measure here and then format percentage. Right, now you can see it's coming as a percentage. Now if you want to change the number of decimals, just reduce this to 0. Right, now it's showing only 1 decimal. Yeah, now it's showing 0 decimals. So the win rate is 20%. Right, and if you want to rename this visual, you can just come double click that and then it's enter. Now it's win rate. All right, so something else about this win rate, you can use another visual here. Where is it? Yeah, this gauge. Now it's looking like this. This is now your win rate, showing you 20% of your trades are wins, right? But remember, we started recording the break-even outcomes. So if you want your win rate here to only be wins versus losses and not wins versus losses in break evens, what you do is come back to the measure here and then change the syntax, right? So if you want to change the syntax, it's simple. Just you can just copy this because this is what you're going to use actually. Copy that part and then replace this part up here with that. Now what you're going to do here is change this equal sign right in and then use the wiggly brackets. Let me show you. Yeah, those ones. This is the one you use. And then you select the ones you want. That's L, comma, and win. So you want to compare the losses and the wins only. That should do the trick. Hit enter. Yep. Now you can see the win rate has changed. Now it's 22%, showing the win rates when you're only comparing wins to total number of losses plus wins minus the break even outcomes. The win rate is 22%. So I think this is the one I'll use it here. Again, the treatment is the same as for the previous one, the previous visuals here. Go change the labels first. Data labels, turn that to off. The data labels here showing you 100, 0%. Turn that off. Target label, call out value. This is the call out value. Then set the color to white. Wait, this is white. White, yeah. Set it bold. And then now this title here, you can either move it to the center or just turn it off for now, right? Then background, forgot, 100%, right? So now you can change the size and add that somewhere there if you want it. Yeah. All I'm doing here is just showing you how you can do add these things for yourself, right? All right, so now you have the trade count and the win ratio. Other metrics you might decide to add is maybe your entry model with the best wins, or or your entry time with the best wins, or your trade direction with the most wins, right? So again, even for those ones, if you want to add them, you'll have to include the measures, right? So let's add one more card, just one more, so that I can move on with showing you the rest of the visuals. So this is a card here. What are we going to add here? You remember this, the column of trade direction, right? So what we want to do is show the trade direction with the most wins. So how do we do that? You also need to add a measure for that one, and then you write a syntax for it. Yeah, it's very hard to show what you want to show using just the column here and some filtering. So what I like to do is just write the code for a new measure that you want, right? And measures are actually good because they adjust with the whole visual. I'll show you later. All right. So let me write the measure for calculating the trade direction with the most wins. Right. So creating the measure is simple. Just go to new measure, then this part here, that's where you write your code. Right, because I had written it in mine in a separate place, I'll just copy it, paste it here. Right, this is it. So what this code does is calculate the win count where just all outcomes where it's win, and then do the maximum number of wins, ordering them by trade direction, the column trade direction. Right, that's it. It may look complex, but yeah, it's quite simple actually. And if I'm being honest with you, for most of these codes, if you don't know anything about DAX, or even in the previous videos or in the previous parts where I was coding on Python, if you don't know anything about the codes here, you can use ChatGPT. Yeah, ChatGPT can generate some of these codes for you easily without you having to have a certification in this thing, right? So let's hit enter. And you can see it's here. So on this card, you're going to add this measure, right? So it's showing you reversal, 26 wins. Yeah, most wins by trade direction. Okay, so now this card is also going to be important for us in our visual, and you can add it here. All right, let's reduce that category label white. bold, colored value white, bit smaller, 40 is good. General effect, transparency 100%. Yeah, I can drag this here. Yeah, I know it looks ugly, but we'll have to make do with that for now. Let's remove the label. Yeah, so now you can see trade count 193, 38, losses 131, wins 22. This is the win ratio, and reversal 26 wins. This is the trade direction with the most wins. Reversal with 26 wins. Right. And I think now this is where now I'll start with what the charts. Right. So remember we had almost all of the charts here. So what you can do is just copy and paste them, or if you don't want to do that, you can create them anew on the new page. So if you're like me, what you're going to do first is copy this visual, all right, duplicate this one rather. Now we have two, then now you have spare ones that you're going to use for the others. So what I'm going to start with here is this one, outcome by instrument. So copy that visual CTRL-C and then paste it here. Now I'm going to show you how you put these two together. Right, so first you position it at the center of this new, or extend it a bit, then make sure it's at the center. Yeah, now it's at the center of this rectangle of ours. So now, like you did with the cards, you also have to change these what do you call them, these writings here, change their color, change the background. So I think I'll start with the background this time. So general effects, background 100% transparent, right? So you can see now it's completely see-through. And then I don't know if there was a border. Let me see. Yeah, there was none, so that's good. And now what you're going to do is change the color of the writings. So start with y-axis color white. You can see they're now white. Set that to bold. And increase the size a bit. Can become more legible. Right now you can clearly see Euro USD starting as 100. I think that's done. Go to the x-axis now. Values, color white. See now they're white. Too bold. Yeah, you can see. Okay, for this one, you can actually leave it blank, like just turn the values off so there's nothing there. And then I think I'll leave them on. Yeah, and just set the values small. And yeah, that's the one. And then the title for the y-axis is just there. The title, even this one off. Right. So now go to the legend. The legend is the key. This one showing outcome BLW. Turn that off, right? Because you already know the colors. And now this is where now you set the colors. Bars. Go to bars, series setting, win. If you want win to be color green, set that to green. Go to loss. If you want loss to be color red, set that to red. You can change the transparency if you don't like how colors are showing up. Yeah. And if it's break even, you can set it to a color that's kind of neutral. Set it to white. Kind of looks. If I set to white, I'll need to increase the transparency like a lot. Yeah, I think it's good. I think I'll leave it there. So now with the bars, okay, you can also apply a border for the series, a specific series. Then white. Right, this is nice, by the way. I think I'll do this one, right? For the for where you're seeing the bars that are blank, just the outline, those are the break evens, right? And there's what do you call it? The title. I don't know if it's here. Title, yeah, title. And I can change the title and show instrument. Then text color white, bold. You can see it's here, and then increase the font. That's it for that one. The title is now there and it's visible. You can either set it at the center or on the side. I like to leave it on the left. Yeah, that's good. That's good enough. And then there's something else. There's something else. Data labels. Yeah, go to visual data labels. Turn that on. Now just change the colors if you want to see them first. Value, call out value. Okay, let's first set them to all. Call out value, you want that to be color white. Set the color white. Now you can see they're visible. Set them to bold if you want them bold, and then increase the font. Right, so now they're clear, and you can see USD 37 14 34 10. These are the break evens, the 9 wins, 5 wins, 30 losses, 34, 37. Yeah, and if you think the background here is kind of becoming a bit too, what do you call it? I don't want to say confusing. Just click this rectangle, right? The one now on the background of this visual, and then go back to general. I think it was shape. Transparency, start reducing that. Oh no, I think now it's better. Or even you can just reduce the transparency of the or rather increase the transparency of the background. Yeah, the background here, you can increase the transparency a bit if you want the image to be less pronounced. You can see it's kind of interfering with the visual. So once you reduce the transparency just a bit, you know, I think that's good enough. Yeah, so such that the numbers here are visible better. Right, so back to this visual. Bars, the data labels, we're working on the bars series all, and you can set the space between categories, like you can see, right? You want them to be more compressed or spaced evenly. Yeah, you can see there's a change there. You can see the changing. Yeah, space between series is best you leave this at 0%, because if you start increasing it, you can see it's not looking too good. So reduce that. Then you can leave it at that. Right. You can change the colors however you want, but it's recommended that the colors be consistent throughout the whole visual, right? Like you can see this visual, for example, was supposed to change this color blue to green. So if you want to change that, you can go here, colors, fill color, green. Is it, which green are we using? It's the 7. No, not that one. This other one. Yeah, now you can see it's green, green, green. Right. So once that is done, now you can, okay, if you want to maintain the same settings for all other visuals, what you are supposed to do is copy this one, Ctrl C, and then paste it, right? Paste it, and then now you start changing the values here. These values here, you start changing them. Like you remember, we had, where we have instruments, we had day of the week, right? So you put day there and then cancel the instrument. So now it's showing outcome sorted by day of the week, right? You can see Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's how you do it. And again, if you want to change the title, it's simple. Just go here and general title day. You can see day. Now, remember I showed you there's a way you can arrange these columns, or rather these days in chronological order. Okay, I'm going to show you that real quick. And once I show you that, I'll also show you how to arrange the month index, the month column in or chronological order. Right, so let me first do this one for the day. What you're going to do is go to transform data here. Open the Power Query editor, and once you're here, you have to create a new column. It's easier to create a new column than to use a measure there. All right, so go to add column, conditional column, and then start. If column name day, when day equals Monday, Monday output 1. That Monday is the first day of the week. Add the clause if day equals Monday or Tuesday, then 2. So we're going to go through until Friday. Once that is done, set the column name. Column name here is day index. This is the index by which we're going to sort the day. So click OK. Yeah, and then now scroll through to make sure there are no errors. Yeah, there are no errors. Then once that is done, set this to numbers, like whole number column. Yeah, make sure it's whole numbers. And then click, go back to home, close and apply. Yeah, once that is done, you're going to go to the day column. This is where it is. They click that, just click that as it is. And then what you're going to do is come at the top here, custom tools, sort by column, sort by day index. Now once that's done, go back to here. I think it should be sorted. Yeah, it's done. Now it's been sorted. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's how you do it, right? So now you can kind of just make this fit at the center of this rectangle. You can see it at the center now. And then that's it for that one, right? If you want to sort month, the month column by the same, what do you call it? If you want to sort the month column by chronological order, it's the same process with how you've done it for the day, right? So you can, I think I'll move this over here, set this, okay. Something else I'm supposed to show you now is how you can group, or rather put them together. Like you can see this instrument, this one is moving separately with this shape. So if you want to make them, together, like one item, you just click, you have to click both of them. If you want to click both of them, click the first one, then hold control and then click the second one. Now you can see both of them have been selected. And then go at the top here, format, and then click group. Now they've been grouped. Now that's one visual, right? To do that, you can see now they're moving together. Now that's one visual. That's how you do it. You will have to do the same for this one and even for all these ones. But for now, let's do for this one only. So click the day and hold control, then click the rectangle. Then go to format, group. Now they are part of the same selection. So now you can move them together, right? So With that, let's minimize this one, then add this one here, and then with this visual, just make it big, because this is where now I want to show the months, right? So again, you'll just have to copy this one and paste it here. If you want to maintain the same column settings, just click that and then copy it and then paste it. Right, so now you have to change, you first of all have to change the format of this visual, right? Like you can see now it's going on the side. You have to make it pop up from the top, from the bottom to the top, like stacked column. Right now you can see it's a stacked column. It's the same how do you call it, the same elements, same instruments with now a different arrangement. So now if you want to transform this into the months column, you don't delete this first, right? Don't delete this first. If you delete it, then add the month column, you're going to have whole different settings for the columns, right? So what you want to do is first add the month column and then cancel the instrument column. Now you can see the months are showing here, right? And then on the y-axis, yeah, you leave this as it is. Now you can change the title, go here, general title, month. Right, now it's done. And then again, now once it's done like that, you want to arrange these in chronological order. So again, you have to open the Power Query editor, just go to transform data. Once you're there, create a new column, add column, conditional column. Right, now this one is going to be a bit longer than the previous one because there are 11 months here. If month equals January, then 1. Month equals February, then 2, all the way down to November. That's done. Now you can click OK. Now there's a month index column. Just scroll to see if there are any errors. Yeah, there are no errors. And yeah, now that once that is done, you can go back to home, then click close and apply. Yep, it's been updated. You can see there's the day index. Okay, where's the month index? Month index. Oh, there's a problem here. This column is supposed to be a number column. So let's go back, transform data, new column, month index, change that to whole number. Right now, click close and apply. Yeah, once that is done, now you can sort, click the month column, then sort by column, month index. Right now that's done. You can add this one here. Click remove the first one. Now you can see it's January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. Yeah, and you can see it's in chronological order. Okay, there are many ways to arrange these two columns, these two values, the day and the month, in chronological order. There are many other ways, but I have showed you the easiest. Not the easiest for doing this specific function, but that's the easiest when you want to arrange any other column by a specific order, right? You just give those specific values an index and then you sort the column by that index, right? That's how you do it. Okay, so now that is done, I think the other visuals, now it shouldn't be too hard for you to make them, right? Now that I've shown you what you're supposed to do. Because remember, if you start with a new visual here, you'll have to start all over again with selecting the colors and then the data labels. You can already see all the labels are here by default. We didn't have to add them because once you just copy and paste the original, right, the first visual is going to come with the settings from here. It's going to import also the settings such that now you can see all the months here. They have the data labels by default, right? And here where there's no label, that means it's one, right? Yeah. So, and then again, something I wanted to show you at this point before I wind up this video is that as you click EURUSD, for example, all these values will adjust. You see now for USD, the total trade count is 54 with 14 wins and 37 losses. Same with here, 14 wins, 37 losses, and the win rate is 27%. And the entry model with the trade direction with the highest wins is a reversal with 9 wins. Right. Select US30, the metrics will change also. It's going to show you 51, 10, 34, 23, reversal, 6 wins. Right. So the instrument here with the highest win ratio is Euro USD with 27%, almost 30%. Right. And the instrument with the lowest win ratio is gold with 14%. Right. As you can see, this is why it's important to use measures, these calculator icons you can see here. This is why it's important to use measures and cards when you're visualizing stuff like this, because they will adjust with the visual, right? If you use filtering, it may cause some issues in some cases. That's why you should avoid those ones and use measures a bit more. Like, yeah, now you can see that's your USD. Now if you go to day of the week, Monday. See, the win rate for Monday is 15%, right? If you go to last year's performance, this is 2023. If you select Monday, the win rate for Monday was 23%, right? 23, compare that with the 15%, meaning it was actually better. Compare that Tuesday. Tuesday, the win rate was 19%. Let's see how I did this year. Tuesday, win rates 17%. Yeah, there's a change there. Again, Wednesday 34%. So Wednesday, I think, yeah, this is the day with the highest win ratio. Friday win rate is 20%. Thursday 22%. And yeah, Wednesday reversal 8 wins. Thursday's reversal 6 wins. Friday reversal 7 wins. Tuesday reversal 3 wins. Monday 2 wins. Right. So every day of the week, the wins, you're going to catch them via a reversal. Like, right? Like, it's very likely that you're going to have some degree of success trying to catch a reversal. All right. I think I'm getting tired now. So with that, I've shown you all the important stuff you need to know about these metrics. And yeah, if you select January, I don't know why this is not working. Yeah, there's a problem here. These ones are not selecting. They're not clickable. I don't know why. Let me see if I can fix that quickly. Yeah, and if you click January, you can see January had a win ratio of 30%, and this is the month with the most wins, 30%. If we go, we can see, I think, May. Oh, nice. So May is showing you there was only 2 wins, and the wins were evenly split between reversal and continuation. Reversal had 1 win, continuation 1 win. If you go to June, they were both reversals. But anyway, I was trying to find the month with the highest win rate, and it seems it's January, right? 30%. It's obviously not February, obviously not July, obviously not March, not April. This is 30%, I think. No, it's 23%. So in January, 30%. September, October, November. Yeah, my best trading month was January with the highest win rate, highest number of wins, and also the highest win rate, which is great. Right. So I think that's it. Now I'm through with that one. I think the next thing I'm going to show you now is to calculate the year over year changes. Like you can see, we have both data sets here. This is for 2023 and 2024. So I think I'll show you how to calculate the yearly changes between the two reports. Like how much have your wins increased, by how much have your losses reduced, and all those metrics. Right. But for now, I think I'll stop here. I've shown you everything, or rather, the most important stuff you need to get down. All the other visuals, like you can see, even the PSL count of outcome, you can just add them the same way I've shown you by copying the original visual, pasting it, and then from there on, you can change the values and even the type of visual. Right. So also, don't try to fit everything in one page. Like you can see here, you only fit the major metrics on the first page, the major ones. Like you can see, this is the instruments, the day of the week, the month, and something else you can add here is, let me see, this chart, this pie chart showing your distribution of wins and losses. This is another one you can add here, probably at the bottom, but I won't do that today. Yeah, for today I'll just leave these three here. Also, I don't think I've grouped these two, so let's click that, the month, and then click the rectangle and then format group. Right, now they're grouped, so can stretch that like that. Right, so now you can see you have a dashboard. This is your first page. You can change these ones however you want to show different metrics. And remember, as I've told you, you use the measures. Yeah, the measures where these ones with a calculator icon, those are the ones you use to calculate these things, because they drill through the across the whole report. You can see. Yeah, if you don't use the measures, you're going to have errors, and yeah, if you don't follow my advice, you'll see those errors that I am telling you. All right. I think that's it for this video. I hope you found it helpful. See you in the next one.